Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel Bhoriyali. Today we are going to talk about sealing Jesmonite. We've seen that artists are creating a lot of amazing stuff with Jesmonite. There is so much going on in the world over there, but one thing that confuses everybody is sealing Jesmonite. People are either skipping this step entirely or using the wrong sealer. Today we've taken it upon ourselves to make this process easier for you. We've broken down the sealers into various categories and we're going to describe what to use when. But before we actually go into understanding the sealers, we need to understand the difference between AC100 and AC730. AC100 is a modified gypsum composite and it is really lightweight and it's great for indoor usage. On the other hand, Jesmonite AC730 is a modified cementitious composite. It is great for outdoor usage. It is great for structural elements. Even though they say that Jesmonite AC730 is for outdoor usage, you can create amazing planters and small items using it. Jesmonite primarily offers three different types of sealers. One is the Jesmonite penetrating sealer. The second is the Jesmonite FlexiGuard sealer. And the third is the acrylic sealer. Today we have with us the Haxon's acrylic sealer, which works really well, and this is all that we've been using, and a lot of other artists use it in India. So the first sealer that we are going to test out today is the Haxon's acrylic sealer. It's a great sealer, provides a protective finish over your surface and is water resistant and UV resistant. So the first way of application that we've normally seen out there, we've normally seen other artists do, is applied by brush. So that's the first thing that we are going to do today. I have this small sample of terrazzo over here. As you can see that the black is a little dull. Generally when you cast Jesmonite AC100 with that black pigment, you have this shiny look. But when creating terrazzo pieces, when you sand them, they tend to be a little dull. So your acrylic sealer is definitely going to solve this problem. So Haxon's acrylic sealer is ready to use from the bottle. But sometimes it can be a little thick. So your best option is to add about 10% of water. You need to mix the water and the acrylic sealer properly. It should just be thick enough so that you can brush over your surface very easily. As you can see that we are getting sort of a water-like finish. The different terrazzo chips and the black color is starting to pop. As you can see that it is very difficult to not have brush lines when using an acrylic sealer. This is a very common problem that we've heard and seen. Once the sealer dries, you'll be able to see better what I'm talking about. Let's leave this to dry for about 15 to 20 minutes. Once it is touch dry, we will get back to it and see what's the result. Now that we are done with the brushing technique, let's move on to the second method, that is spraying the sealer with a spray gun. For this, you will need a compressor, but I highly recommend it if you are into making a lot of pieces with Jesmonite or concrete. If you have bulk orders, it is a really good investment to make, and I am going to show you why. So here we have a lot of pieces made with Jesmonite AC100. Only this one is made with Jesmonite AC730. I am going to use a spray gun and spray the sealer over all these pieces in one go. So let's get right to it. So I have some acrylic sealer left and I'm just going to pour it inside. Now that I have my acrylic sealer inside, I'm just going to spray it easily over all these pieces. There's only one thing that you need to remember is that you need so much of a distance before you pour it. Now that we are done with this, it was a super satisfying process. It's just going to take another 10 to 15 minutes to dry. Till then, we are going to set this aside and we are going to move on to the next sealer, which is a Jesmonite FlexiGuard sealer. The FlexiGuard sealer is a sealer specifically designed for Jesmonite AC730. It provides a water resistant and flexible coating over the piece. It is also UV resistant. Let's get right into it. The Jesmonite FlexiGuard sealer is not going to leave brush marks, so you do not really want to spray over the piece. You can just use a brush and it's super simple to use. Now I have some FlexiGuard sealer over here. I've put it into a cup and I have this Jesmonite AC730 piece that we've made. So I've just divided the piece into 3 parts. We're going to put the FlexiGuard sealer on one side, we're going to put no sealer in the middle, and we're going to put the penetrating sealer on one side. This sealer is very good. It also provides protection against weathering, against staining. For an outdoor project, you cannot use the acrylic sealer, and that is when they recommend the FlexiGuard sealer and the penetrating sealer. While we wait for this piece to dry, let's apply the FlexiGuard sealer on this cylindrical planter. The FlexiGuard sealer does not provide an invisible coating. It stays on the surface like a very thin film. Now we've applied one coat of the FlexiGuard sealer over these 3 pieces. If required, you can wait for it to dry and put on another coat. Now we're going to set these aside and we're going to move on to the penetrating sealer. Next up is another sealer that is also designed for Jesmonite AC730. Now before I use it, I want you to know that Jesmonite is a material that is porous in nature. The penetrating sealer is going to go through the pores of the Jesmonite AC730 and is going to create a barrier which is going to prevent it from moisture, dirt and any sort of stains. This is different from the FlexiGuard sealer because the FlexiGuard sealer does not penetrate through the pores and it remains as a film on the top. Let's get right into applying the penetrating sealer on the piece. I have some of the sealer poured into this cup. And we have to use the same method that we did use for the FlexiGuard sealer. As the penetrating sealer is invisible, it's going to keep the original look of Jesmonite AC730 intact. These 2 sealers cannot be used with Jesmonite AC100. The pieces on which we had applied the acrylic sealer have now dried. Let's go and see how they have turned out. This was the one which we had done. As you can see that there are a few brush marks. But I'm going to go to one piece that we had done before. In this one you can see that the brush marks are more prominent because it's a lighter color. When we compare it to the piece that we had sprayed on, it has given a smooth finish. You wouldn't even know that a sealer has been applied. This was another piece that we had sprayed upon. It has got a very nice finish. You can even look at this piece that we had sprayed upon. We had sprayed on all of them at once, so it hardly took us any time. But there is no evidence of a sealer, even though there is a coat over it. These pieces are now waterproof, water resistant, they are UV resistant, and they are good to go for internal use. For testing the FlexiGuard and penetrating sealer, we are just going to use this sample over here. On this side where the F is marked is where we had applied the FlexiGuard sealer, and here where the P is marked we had applied the penetrating sealer. In the middle there is no sealer. I am just going to take some water in my hand and sprinkle it all over the piece. As you can see that the portion where there was no sealer, the pieces completely absorbed all the water, while the 2 sides where the FlexiGuard and penetrating sealer is there, water droplets are formed, it has become hydrophobic. This is a sign that your piece is well sealed and it's good to go. So now when do you apply a FlexiGuard sealer and when do you apply a penetrating sealer? When you're making small objects like this at home, it doesn't really matter. A penetrating sealer is just that it's going to go inside the material and protect it, while the FlexiGuard is going to be a protective film on top. It depends on you. You can choose either of them. So there it is. We've covered the differences between Jesmonite AC100 and AC730, and we've tested the 3 different sealers that they have. If you still feel like you have some sort of confusion or you do not know what to use, you can always email us or WhatsApp us. You can even call us. All the details are there in the description. Remember to like, share and subscribe. If you have any suggestions or questions, leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching this video and see you again in the next one.